Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a Nikki Uncut. Do you know what we're gonna do today? Uncut, which means it's gonna be very long, so bear with me, and I'm going to make a mental note to make chapters for this video. But today, for this Uncut, we're doing a full face of MILANI Cosmetics. I have a lot of MILANI makeup. I have a lot of thoughts on MILANI makeup. 90% of it is really good. And let's get right into it. Let's get right into it as quick as possible because we have a full face to do, and I have very skinny eyebrows right now, and I have barely like a whisper little hint of a brow pencil in my brows to start. And listen, the reason for that is because I've mentioned before, I'm just very vain when it comes to my brows. I have had them microbladed, but I need to go back and get my 6-week touch-up done. So until then, we cheated a little bit, but this is how thin and quite literally like how skinny my brows would be if I didn't touch them. It's pretty funny, right? I feel very 90s. I feel very Pamela Anderson, but like with black hair. Very thin, very 90s, very on trend too, but I'm not really into that trend. So we're gonna definitely tackle those brows as soon as possible. Before we do, I'm going to add the first product from MILANI. This is the Bright Side Illuminating Primer, and this has vitamin C in it. B5. Oh, it's a vitamin C derivative plus provitamin B5. So we're going to apply this fresh out the gate with my fingertips. Just has a nice, like, clean hint of scent to it. So it's illuminating, it's brightening. We're going to use this first as a primer. There were a few options as far as primers go from MILANI. This is the only one that I have not tried. I believe I've tried all the others. There's like a glowy primer. There's a mattifying primer. And there's one more. I can't think of it right now. But I am actually excited to try this one and to give this a good shot. So this is giving me, I can already see it actually on camera and in my little mirror. It's giving me a nice amount of glow. It's actually really pretty. So I'm applying this all over, trying to be mindful not to get it onto my skinny brows. It is drying down pretty quick. Yeah, all right, that dried down actually very quick. Let me just hit my chin a bit too, because I didn't really get enough on my chin. So definitely dried down fast. Something to note, you kind of want to work fast and blend it in pretty quick. But it is giving a really soft amount of radiance. Don't mind all these little zits. I tried a new skincare product, and it definitely caused quite a few of these little pimples to pop up. And at first I couldn't pinpoint what it was, but then I realized like what was new in my routine. So let's dive into the rest of the products. I have 2 setting sprays. I have my OG favorite. It's like the jumbo bottle that I love. It's the Make It Last Original. I also have the Make It Last sunscreen. I don't know if I'm going to use this one, to be honest, because I've used this in the past, and I've actually kept this in my car in the past, believe it or not, and I don't really recommend that because when my car gets super hot, it tends to leak and once it heats up. But anyway, I have used it in the past, and it does make me really, really shiny. I have a new eyeshadow palette, new to me, not new to MILANI, but it's a Gilded Mini in the shade It's All Rosé. We're going to do an eyeshadow look with this. And you know what we should probably do? We should do a couple things. There's a lot to unpack in this full face of MILANI, but I will point out one thing that I'm not going to use, and it's not going to be this MILANI Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. This was a no, hard stop, definitely a no for me. But let's tackle these brows, okay? So I have 2 brow products from MILANI. I have not used any of these before. I just opened them prior to starting recording this video so I could save you guys some time. This is the Stay Put Brow Sculpting Mechanical Pencil. I have the shade 05 Espresso. This is going to be one of those like long angular pencils. Can you see that? Pointed tip. Actually, it's not pointed tip. It's more like a slant, basically. So we're going to use this. Oh, that came out thick. Let's try it out. First things first, I'm going to use the spoolie. Brush up my non-existent brows a bit. Look at those bad boys. Look how thick and juicy they are. I mean, it's like no brow at all. Let's try our best to create a thin hair-like stroke. Okay, it's not bad. Gonna brush upward now. Color's good. I'm not applying a lot of pressure because since I pre-tested the pigment on my hand, oh, that looks really good. I noticed it's actually a pretty soft formula, so therefore like it went on pretty impactful basically. So I'm using really light pressure. Okay, looking better. And believe it or not, this is like the first time I've ever tried a Milani brow product. I am surprised to say that because I feel like I've tried almost everything from the brand, to be honest. But I had never tried any of the brow products. And when I went shopping for the rest of the products I needed, I realized they have quite an assortment of brow products. They had another brow pencil too that was like a micro pencil, and I almost got that, but this one just looked more intriguing for some reason. But I'm happy with it. Okay, that looks good. A little more here. Okay, we're gonna put the pencil down. Not bad. I do need to wear this and kind of test out how it's gonna wear throughout the day, because normally brow pencils tend to get, like if they're not really good quality, they tend to get really just shiny. Like my natural oils start to mix in, and it just creates a overly shiny brow. So now I'm going to top my brows with the Milani Brow Mousse. Stay Put Brow Mousse. It's a tinted brow color, and it has a spoolie on it. And I think it's going to be more like a fiber type product, because I could see some like hairs kind of spread out throughout the brush. So let's use this to brush up into my brows. Try to give them a fluffy, more realistic look and not just a penciled in look. That's really the best reason why you would use a tinted brow gel, is it gives them more of like a natural, like real life 3D effect, as opposed to just a drawn on, painted on look. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. So same thing, I'm gonna redirect the product in the opposite direction to really coat my little baby brow hairs. And then bring it back over to coat the other side. Let me actually dip into a bit more product. I'm definitely anxious to try this product more and give it more love and more testing, more wear time. But so far, so good. This one looks darker for some reason. Oops. Not bad. Colors are good. They're not too warm, which is great. And that's always an issue that I have with a lot of drugstore brow products. Sometimes it can be really hard to find, for my hair color at least. Okay, sorry, I had to cut for a second because I just choked on air. Literally nothing, just started choking on air, and I had to get some water. Actually, I had a sip of Diet Coke. Wow, that was actually kind of scary. So, brows are on, they're looking good. Let's dive into, do we want to do foundation first, or do we want to do eyeshadow? I am leaning towards eyeshadow, but what I want to do first, okay, is I want to do a little bit of under bronzing, like an under painting, sculpting kind of moment. This is one of my favorite products from the drugstore. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. This is the shade 120 Spilling Tea. we're going to grab a BK Beauty 109 brush. We're going to tap into this bronzer. We're going to try not to knock down my mirror. And we're going to do some pre-foundation bronzing, sculpting, warming up. Pretty much anything but contour, because this is such a warm bronzer shade. This is definitely not a contour shade, but it is going to help just enhance my features and give a soft sculpted look underneath the foundation. These are so easy to blend and work with. They're a really amazing alternative to higher end cream bronzers. Like, you could absolutely swap out most of the cream bronzers on the market with the Milani ones and be just as happy with them. I'm also going to do a little bit around my temple. So I'm going to very delicately avoid my brows. And off camera, I did prime my eyelids just to save a little bit of time on this tutorial, because these uncuts could be really long, especially when I'm doing a full face of one brand. But at least you do get to see the whole ins and outs and the entire process, and there's nothing that's left out. You get to see everything, the good and the bad. But I figured I'd save us a little bit of time, do my eye primer off camera. I'll tell you what it is. It's the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and that's it. Now, Milani does have a actual eyeshadow primer or base. It comes in a tube. However, I've just never been a fan of it, and I do not want to ruin my eye makeup look in this video, so we're just not going to use it. It's not a product that I recommend from Milani, so there's just no point in wasting it and showing you a product that I don't recommend. That I know I don't recommend, because there's going to be a few products that I've not tried in this video, I'm sure, like the brow stuff, so. Okay. We have a nice foundation of bronze happening. Now we're going to move on to a different brush before we move on. I'm going to grab my N16 brush, dip into that same bronzer, and we're going to connect this inner part of the bridge of my nose to my brow and warm up this part of my socket. And then use whatever's excess on the brush to blend out the rest of my nose. Now we're gonna look pretty funky for a minute, because we're gonna do our eyes and we're gonna leave it like this for quite some time. So let me actually add the same thing along my lip. Even though this is a really warm tone shade, once the foundation goes on top, it's gonna give a soft amount of definition around my lip line prior to lip liner. And let's just hang out. I hope you have a snack. I hope you too have a Diet Coke or a coffee or a matcha or a boba drink. Those are all my favorite drinks wrapped in one. Because we're going to be here a while. Basically, we're going to be here a hot minute. Okay, let's just move this hair out of the way a bit nicer. And then I will stop playing with it, because I know that bothers quite a few people, but I can't help it. It touches my face and it sticks to it, and it's just a mess. I have a new powder from Milani that I have not tried before. I got the Make It Last powder. This is setting powder. I'm going to use a tiny bit of this, believe it or not, prior to my eyeshadow, just to mattify my eyes, make sure they're in the best spot possible before my eyeshadow goes on top. So I'm taking my N14, gonna dip in, and this is a translucent powder. And I'm assuming this is going to be the best for touch-ups throughout the day, touch-ups on the go. If you're oily, a translucent powder is usually our best friend. So just locking this in. I'm also going to lock in that cream bronzer that is on the outside of my temple, where my brow bone is, just so we have no issues when we're going to blend the eyeshadow in this area. We want to make sure it's nice and seamless, and that we're giving this Milani full face like a proper time, okay? All right, let's dive into this. And also, I'm just kind of excited because I have a lot of really good stuff from Milani, okay? And I have so many things I have not given enough love to. I've had these for quite some time. They're the Gilded Eyeshadow Sticks. There's O1 Blossom and O3 Sand. These are such a great alternative. Also, I've said this before, but to the Laura Mercier shadow sticks. They wear just as long and they're just as pigmented. So really great product. I might use this pink one as an eyeshadow base. Sorry to give you like the inner workings of my mind, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of look we want to do. This is the palette that we have. And how pretty is that? So pretty for spring. It's going to go really nicely with my top Please Focus camera. I feel like, let's just do it. Let's run the shade 01 Blossom on the base of the eyelids, and we'll use this as our pre-shadow base color. These are extremely easy to work with. You just run them all along your eyelid. I was going to say eyeball, but avoid your eyeball. Just put on your eyelid. Don't listen to me. And blend out the crease. Or blend into the crease. I swear I can talk. Maybe I need more Diet Coke. Maybe I need a matcha. Maybe I need a boba with matcha. Ah, that does sound really good right now. Okay. I know this is going to be a little too distracting, so let me just smooth this out a bit. Now let's dive into the eyeshadow. I'm going to grab my N13 brush with BK Beauty, and let's get this party properly started. I'm going to start with this, one of the only mattes in the palette. It's like the mid-tone blush color. And you guessed it, we're going to blend this across the crease and about halfway onto the eyelid. And I really just want to create a romantic blush tone eye. That's going to be perfect for spring. Now these eyeshadows from Milani have always been a favorite of mine. One of my absolute favorites, and I'll try to remember to link it in this video description as well because I've talked about it before, and it's literally one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore. It's the Milani Mini Gilded Palette in the shade Whiskey Business. It's a palette of all mattes. I have it just out of arm's reach, otherwise I would get it and show you it. It's a really well-loved palette of mine. I've used it for many years, actually, and it's incredible if you want an extremely affordable alternative to like the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, which I highly recommend. But if you don't want to spend the money and splurge, then that Milani Whiskey Business is absolutely one you should try. It's a phenomenal eyeshadow palette. And it's small, they're convenient, they're easy to travel with. The pigments are great on these palettes. They're just easy to work with. Very minimal fallout. They blend easy. Like, I could go on for days about how good these palettes are. So Milani really just crushes their eyeshadow formulas. And like I said, their shadow sticks are also really amazing. They just got great stuff, okay? I've been so excited to do this video for such a long time now. It has been on my big whiteboard of ideas for YouTube for quite some time. And I don't know why it's taking me this long to actually commit to doing it, but I'm so happy that we're here today. And I hope you're equally excited for this video. And as always, leave in the comments what full face of what brand you want to see next. I always love your recommendations. I love your feedback. Drop it below so I can save it. So I'm building it up as I usually do. And also, like I usually do, I'm trying to match that hooded eye to my non-hooded eye. And you're in it for a long one because eyeshadow looks, if they're not edited, they take some time. They take quite a bit of time. Same brush, I'm going to now dip into the next deepest shade in the matte formula. Tap off the excess. And we're going to tuck this all in the outer corner of my eye. Switching to a circular motion blending, just to really get this going. Can we also appreciate how pretty this color story is? That's the other thing too. They have really good color stories to choose from with their palettes. Very nice. Circular motions. Just trying to get some nice impact, trying to open up my eyes. Very pretty. Not bad, my friends, not bad. For the eyeshadow, the next eyeshadow, for the shimmery shadow, I'm going to swatch these and we'll kind of decide together which one we want to do. This is the next shade over, one of the shimmery shades, and this is more of like a light rosé type shade. And this is the lightest shimmer. So those are what we're working with. And I'm feeling like going a little bit more bold. I'm going to go for the deeper one. Right? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Can you tell me? Should I do that? Should I do that? Should I do that? Why is this becoming the toughest decision I've ever made in my entire life? Yes, we're going to do it, okay? And I'm going to use my fingertip to apply that first amount. And then maybe we'll go over it with a wet brush and a lighter shimmer. Oh, that's pretty. And I am glistening. Every time I get close to my mirror, I am like glistening with that primer. So the primer definitely did what it was intended to do. It definitely brightened my skin. It gave me quite a bit of bounce back and glow. Okay, I'm happy with this eyeshadow decision. But I am going to do a trick that I love to do. I'm going to grab the OG, the original, my favorite. I'm going to grab the Make It Last setting spray. And let me grab a smaller brush. This is dirty, but we're going to just kind of dust off the excess product. This is a BK Beauty 209 brush. Great brush for packing on one color in a very specific spot. So I'm going to dip into the shade in the center, grab a whole bunch, okay, just like that. We're going to spritz a few times. And let's hit the center. It's pretty. Not quite as impactful as I was hoping. I just made up a word. But nice. Let's do a little bit more. Let's really wet this bad boy. Gonna pick up more. It's pretty. It's not like high metallic shine, but it's still very pretty. And ultimately, such a great deal. So everything I'm using from Milani is going to be linked in this video, except I'm not going to link products that I don't like I mentioned. I'm not going to link that eyeshadow base, and I'm not going to link that purple putty blur primer because I don't like it and I don't recommend it. Okay. For the sake of time, we're going to move on. Same brush though. I'm going to now dip into the matte shadow in this palette. Flipping to the clean side of that brush. We're going to use this to brighten and pop this inner corner of my tear duct. So right in here, I like to really lay this further out than my actual tear duct. This enhances my eyes, makes them look bigger than they actually are. So rather than just popping it like right, because like right here, this is like your actual tear duct. I like to bring it way, 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 way further out. Really great trick if you have deep set eyes and you want to bring them further forward. All right, we are looking good. Things are looking bright and very happy over here. I'm in love with this eye makeup look so far. Let's finish this bad boy up. And I'm realizing I kind of goofed, but I also didn't really see one available. I did not get an eyeliner for like tight lining. So we're going to skip tight lining today, which is difficult for me to do because I do love a good tight lining moment. It's like my favorite thing to do. We're going to jump straight into eyeliner. I have been curious to try this one for quite some time. This is the liquid eyeliner. It's a black matte liquid eyeliner. So a lot of liquid eyeliners, they tend to dry satin at best, but some of them are really shiny, and they can kind of look a little, I hate to say this, but like a little cheap if they dry down too shiny. This is a matte pitch black eyeliner, and I'm very curious to see if it's going to actually dry down matte like it says it's going to. But it comes in like one of those old school ink pot thingies. I don't know how to describe it. Pretty thick pen or brush. So I'm going to have to be very careful when I apply this, but let's get this party started. Let me grab my mirror again because I need to take a deep breath. I need to cross my legs and I need to focus for this one, okay? And let's do some liner. I'm starting with the wing. And we're just drawing it on as if I don't have a hood, as if there's no fold there. We're pretending like it doesn't exist. We're giving it no attention, no light. We're not talking to it. We're being mean girls to this poor fold and acting like it doesn't even exist. Now, one thing I don't enjoy about applicators like this is inevitably they end up hitting your lashes. So when you go to put your mascara on, you'll see this when we get to that point. I promise you. I know it's going to happen. It ends up clumping your lashes together because no matter what, no matter how careful you are, the nature of this product, there's product all over the actual like wand of this. So when I'm applying this in a wing, I can tell that I'm hitting my lashes with the rest of the wand. And it's coating my lashes even though I don't want it to. So, a little inconvenient. It's definitely going to cause some issues. Like right now, I just hit my lashes with it, and that's going to cause some issues for sure. So we'll keep this in mind. We will not blame the mascara when this happens. We'll just know in our heart of hearts that it was this and not the mascara. But pretty good. It was a little difficult to work with because of the actual tip of this. It's a little too blunt. It's not like pointed enough for my liking. So it did make it a bit difficult to create a thin wing, but we got through it. So same thing. We're drawing a wing on and holding our breath. Try to get a very thin little wing happening. Yeah, not the easiest. But it is true to the marketing. It is a matte black liner. So, hey, that is good. It's definitely not drying shiny or even satin. It's like a true matte black, which is cool. Almost, almost. Bear with me. Stay with me. Okay, so as I'm layering this and as I'm trying to tweak the shape, check it, it's like from one angle it looks good, from the other angle it looks not the best. But as I'm trying to tweak this, it is getting a little crusty. We're going to move on. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to let this chill. And if we really need to fix it, we will. Otherwise, I'm not that concerned about it. It's just eyeliner. It's not the end of the world if it's not absolutely perfect. Now, I have two mascaras from Milani. One I didn't really care for that much at all. I kind of want to try it again. However, I do have another one that I do like. It's the Anti-Gravity Mascara from Milani. But this one is like the tubing mascara. I believe it's like supposed to be maybe an alternative to like the Thrive Cosmetics, which oddly enough, I have never tried. But let's do this one because I know I like this one, and this is like the one I know I would recommend. So Anti-Gravity. And let's see how much liquid liner is in my lashes at this point. Okay, not that bad. But I can definitely feel a chunk on my outer lashes. So this mascara, I enjoy the wand. I enjoy the formula. It's not like an overly messy, dramatic formula. It's more of like a creamy texture, which I find are just easier to work with, as long as they're not dry. But all in all, it does give me like quite a bit of length. Decent separation, but not a ton of thickness. And I really like my lashes to look thicker. Okay. We might possibly add some lashes later on, but for now we're going to move on because we have some other things to do. We have a lot to do, actually. Quite a bit to do. Now, Milani did send me these Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Sticks. I've tried them maybe twice. I think I'm kind of torn between using the foundation because I actually really like this foundation. However, the shade's just a little off for me. It's a little too warm, a little too golden. But the shade 07 in the sticks is a really great match. So let's actually let's give this another go because it's new, it's exciting. And it's actually extremely easy to work with because it's a stick. So we're going to apply 07 all over. And it's a product that I haven't given enough love to or tried enough. So this would be a good opportunity to test it out once again. So 07 actually has a nice hint of an olive complexion to it, an olive undertone, which is perfect for me. I'm going to grab a clean N17 brush. I'm going to tap in, push the product into my skin, maintain the coverage as best I can. What I did notice the first 1 or 2 times I use this product is it does leave me quite shiny, and I am an oily girl. And yeah, so I was quite shiny when I used this product. I'm assuming it's going to be the same case, and maybe even more so because I did put that illuminating primer underneath. But at least I have a priming product underneath to kind of keep it intact and keep it locked in a bit longer. Because I wouldn't say this is like the longest wearing product from what I remember. Whereas like this bad boy is stellar and very long wearing. Very, 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 very full coverage though. Okay, that looks really good. Shade match is great. Really happy with that. Let's do a bit more on my chin because I got a couple little zitters. And just a couple right there. But yeah, all in all, this is an easy product to work with. I wouldn't say it's the best skin tint or skin tint stick, whatever. Skin tint stick is what I was trying to get out. It's not like the best, most longest wearing one on the market, but it's nice. And I would say that if you're oily, just keep in mind you're gonna be very shiny when you use this. Very, very, very shiny. Similar to like the Dior stick foundation leaves you unbelievably dewy and glowy. And yeah, so if you're oily, just keep those things in mind. We need to add a bit more bronzer, and I do have another one too. I have the Conceal and Perfect in the shade Toffee. This is actually a liquid contour. Let's add a bit of this. I haven't used this product in a while. This is kind of old from my stash, and I do remember really liking it though. So let's squeeze a bit into the sponge applicator. This is what the product looks like. So it has a nice sponge applicator, pretty easy for if you're on the go, because you can just dot on, like I'm gonna do right now. Add a bit more. Looks good. Texture of this and consistency is very nice. It's very thin. Very easy to like blend out. I'm gonna grab my N16 one more time. Blend out the nose portion. And now let's grab the 109 that we used earlier for the cream and just start to tap this in. This is definitely more of a contour shade. However, it's still a bit on the warm side. But it is definitely more of a contour shade in comparison to that first bronzer that I used earlier. So it's going to add more depth, a little bit more dimension to my skin, and not just have that warm, bronzy look with that first product. Milani does have a powder bronzer. However, I haven't been able to get the shade that I would need. It's never in stock. It's never in store. I've only ever been able to find the 01, or like the lightest shade in their powder bronzer. So that's a bummer. I do want to get that eventually because I want to test it out. So I do not have a powder bronzer to finish this makeup look. But by layering these two, I think we should be fine. So that's blending on so nice. And so smooth on top. Now we haven't done concealer yet, so we're pretty far down with that contour shade. But we'll be able to clean it up once we get to concealer. So you just wait. And again, it's Nikki and Cut, just a gentle reminder, the whole process is left in. The good and the bad. Add a little bit of this to this because I have a little bit too much on this side. But that is a nice formula. Very reminiscent of the Charlotte Tilbury contour sticks. Similar packaging, has the sponge, has all that stuff. I know Charlotte's came first, but very, very similar. So if you like that product and you want a good alternative from the drugstore that's obviously more affordable, then I would definitely say check this one out. Okay, so that looks really nice. Really, really nice. I am very glowy. We will combat that. I have 2 powders to combat that shine when we get to that point. Just a little underneath. Blend out the nose a bit more. Okay. Okay, moving on to concealer. I have one that I've had for a minute. I really like this formula. It's the Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I have the shade 125 Light Natural. And we're going to use this pretty sparingly because it is quite pigmented. And if you do go a little too heavy-handed, it might cake up a bit. So just a little FYI. We'll see if I can stick to my word and actually go light-handed with this. But, you know, I'm a concealer junkie over here. I love concealer. And I tend to go pretty hard with it. So we're going to bring this down the side of my nose. We'll do a little highlighting. Down the nose. We'll let that marinate for a while. Dry down. Let's get some highlighting going down here. Let's do a touch. To spread this out. I'm not dipping into more product, so it's still a very thin amount. It may look a lot heavier on camera though. So just kind of spreading this out with the back side of that doe foot where it doesn't even have more product on it. Just to even out. Like that. Really, really great concealer though, I can tell you that. I've used it for, I don't know, 2 years at this point, maybe a little bit longer. So I also have some new blushes. We're gonna let this chill for a minute. We're gonna talk for a bit while this dries down a bit. I have the Gel Cream Liquid Blushes. I also have this one, and I've been enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. When I initially tried this one, I was a little underwhelmed by it, but actually my thoughts have changed. I really like this formula. This is a really nice formula. Again, very reminiscent of the Charlotte Tilbury, like Beauty Light Wands, but like in a blush color. This is the Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush and Glow. So it's an illuminating blush. It's in the shade Pink Kava 120. And then these are very new to me, and I have not, unless I don't remember, I don't remember trying these yet. But I have Nude Flush. They're a liquid blush. These are like brand new from Milani. And I'm feeling like maybe I should do a little bit of this one, but let me test it out on my hand. Okay, this is going to be similar to like the Cloud Paints from Glossier. And truthfully, I hate those products. I really hate those products. They always rip up my makeup and they just create a mess. But let's just do... Yeah, see, it's too gel-like. I don't like gel products on top of a full glam. They don't ever work well. They work really well with skin tints, bare skin, really natural makeup, but on top of like full glams, they're usually not, they're not the jam. Yeah, so you know, we're not going to risk it. I don't want to wreck this makeup look. I love it too much. So we are going to skip these. Just know that they're new and they're very pretty. But gels, in my opinion, just my opinion, okay? They just can be very difficult to work with. Instead, I'm going to use a different shade in the cream blush. These are just as fantastic as the cream bronzer formula, but they're in a blush. So we're going to dive into this beautiful, rich, like raspberry shade. This is the shade, oh, Merlot Moment. I guess this is definitely more of like a Merlot shade than it is a raspberry, but how pretty is that? So cream over gel. Maybe we'll pop this on top, but honestly, I have this palette that I cannot wait to add more glow with, and I'm just so excited. I also picked up a new shade in the Baked Blushes. I got the shade 03 Berry Amore, and I love, this is my original love of the brand. My original love ride or die product from Milani was their Baked Blushes because they are phenomenal. They are literally the GOAT at the drugstore, okay? For a baked blush, or just for a blush in general, these from Milani are, they're the GOAT. They just... I said what I said, and I'm just sticking to it. Okay, let's get this party started. I've done enough chatting to let this dry down and self-set. So I'm going to tap this in with my N14 to make it really quick, really easy. The bigger the brush, the quicker the blend is going to be. The smaller the brush, the more precise and the more, I guess, like elbow grease you're going to have to put into it because it's a smaller brush and it's going to take more time to cover more ground. So choosing a bigger brush in this area, like my N14, just gets the job done really quick and really efficiently. Kind of like using a beauty blender, but in a much smaller, easier to manage size. So tapping this in. Yeah, I'm really happy I didn't commit and try to make that gel work because I just don't want to ruin this makeup look. I'm too happy with it. And we don't want to do Milani dirty. They have great products. I need to stick to what I like. And I just don't like gel blushes, period. They're just not my thing. Creams, all day long. Okay. Foundation stick is looking good. And I should really pick up a new shade in this foundation because I want to start using it again. Or maybe I'll just pick up a color adjuster. That's what I should do. I'll pick up a blue and I'll pick up a white. I'll lighten it and I'll neutralize it a bit with the blue. And then we'll be able to use that bad boy and not waste our money. Going back to the 109. Going to reblend. And again, taking you along the whole process with me. You're going to hang out with me the entire time I'm doing my makeup, so I'm not lonely. And we can just all keep each other company because that just sounds nice. Squeezing the tip of my N14, like literally pinching it like this. When you're in a pinch, you don't want to be switching your brush and you just want to be a little lazy because sometimes we're all a little lazy. Just pinch the brush. You can do this with any brush, obviously, but pinch the brush, narrow it, blend out the nose, go back to the 109, blend these two worlds together a bit more, just like that. Now we can dive into that gorgeous, gorgeous blush. So Cheek Kiss blush in Merlot Moment, same 109. There's nothing wrong with using the same brush. There's barely any leftover product on it, but I am going to pre-blend that blush with the brush on the top of my hand. That is a tongue twister. So look how pretty that is. So pre-blend, pre-blend. Pre-blend is a really hard sentence for me to say, by the way. Like those two words strung together, very difficult for me to say. Similar to Rottweiler. Have you ever said Rottweiler 5 times fast? I have. It's almost impossible. So I'm going to tap on that Merlot shade. And that looks so pretty and complementary to that eye makeup look. We're going to bring this a bit further up. Really get that high blush moment happening. Slowly and carefully blend that into the contour and the bronzer and my temple. Just like that. But these are such a fantastic formula. If you want a good drugstore blush, between Milani and their baked blush, even their matte powder blush, it's like a flower embossed packaging. Great formula as well. So if you want matte, they have matte as well. But between their creams, this one, and the powders, they just have the best drugstore blushes. I'm just going to say it again. Okay, so slowly tapping it out, blending it all over. It's so much more impactful in my mirror right now than it is on camera. Just know that the lights wash out a lot of the product. So I'll add more just for camera purposes, but this is just such a pretty blush. It's like gorgeous. Really happy I went with this one. Okay, we're gonna do things a little different because we have two powders. One's the Make It Last setting powder, and then one is the Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Loose powder. Now I have a sneaking suspicion that this powder right here might alter and deepen the appearance of my concealer under my eyes. So in order to avoid that and for safe measure, we're going to actually set the under eyes first and dry it down with this completely translucent colorless powder. In order to do that, I need to grab a clean N14 brush, and we're going to buff out any creases, which there really were not any there. Tap into the Milani Make It Last. I can tell this is very finely milled because as I'm tapping into it, very, very fine, like almost like a little dust cloud is hitting the air. And it wouldn't be Nikki and Cut if there weren't landscapers right outside my house right now. They're not hitting my house, they're hitting my neighbor's house, but they're there. Okay, so this is nice, very smoothing. Let me touch this. Interesting. Feels very silky. Okay, looks good. On to the next. I'm definitely very glowy from that stick. So again, if you want to try it, just make sure you keep in mind, if you're oily like me, it's going to make you quite shiny. Let's do a bit around my nose, a bit on my chin. And now we're going to switch over to the loose one, okay? So the loose one, let me show you the cap just so you can get a good reference of what it looks like. Conceal and perfect. I promise you I can talk. Blur out powder, loose. And this is the shade 01 Translucent. So let me just do a bigger brush. Let me grab the back side of my N17 brush and dip into, oh, it's quite a bit. Okay. All right, this is very finely milled as well. And let's see how this feels. Oh, wow. Oh, that's very blurring. Whoa. Oh, wow. Wow. This almost feels like cornstarch. It's got like a cornstarchy feeling to it. Interesting. Oh. That's one of those powders that goes right up your nose and chokes you. Wow. Uh-huh. Just keep inhaling it. Wow. Okay, I have to play around with this way more. This is very interesting, and I really like it so far. Do you see how that blurred my skin? Like 90%? Wow. Feels very silky and really nice. Holy moly. Oof. I'm still happy with my decision to go underneath my eyes with this first because I feel like this still would deepen the appearance of my under eyes. So glad I did that, but overall, I wish you could feel how my skin feels right now. It feels like just silky and matte, but not like crusty and dusty and like overly like pancakey powdery. Really interesting. Wow, very, very interesting. Feels weird on my hands right now too. Let's dive into some glow. Sounds counterintuitive because we just mattified our skin, but we need to bring some life back to it once again. And I am just absolutely so excited to try this palette that I picked out. It's a 3-pan palette. It's the 03 Rose Glow Stellar Lights Highlighter Palette. So 3 shades. I'm going to use the Rose Gold and probably the lightest one as well. So let me just do something different. Let me grab an Angie Hot and Flashy A504, swipe into the lightest one, and we're going to use this. Oh, wow. This is nice. That is beaming. Absolutely beaming. Let's just do some more inner highlight too, because why not? Oh, okay. Very pretty. Very impactful. Backside of my foundation used N17 to swipe into Rose Gold. Tap off the excess. And let's layer this right on top. Oh, that's maybe a little too chunky. Hold on. Maybe a bit too impactful. What do we think? It's nice. I might have just gone a little too heavy-handed, honestly. That's my fault. We won't blame the product. That is definitely my fault. Okay. Definitely looking a little too much. Let's go back to that powder leftover N17 brush and just soften this a bit with whatever's left over. A lot of learning lessons today, huh? A lot of narrowly escaped mistakes. But I am loving the way that lightest glow looks on my nose. It looks really pretty. Let's switch over to a small N14. I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to add a little bit of this very frosty light highlighter just here. Do you see that? It's pretty. And you know what? Even though I don't like Cupid's bow highlight on me, let's switch it up. We'll even hit the chin. Yeah, that's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Now, I do want to do one quick thing. I know, we're almost done, I promise you. I'm going to go back to that cream bronzer because I just feel like I need the tiniest touch more on my forehead. There we go. It's hard to explain. It just was missing like the tiniest little like whisper of this layered back on top because I felt like that powder really doled it out a little too much for my liking. So let's just infuse a bit more back in that area. Now, if you are not new to my channel, you already know that I'm going to go back to that eyeshadow palette. We're going to do the same techniques, a lot of the same shades on the bottom lash line now, but with my N12 brush. So we're going to connect the look, give it a cohesiveness that it's kind of missing on the bottom lash line, and just bring those two matte shadows that we used way, way earlier, like last week it feels like, on the bottom lash line. I love to do this for my eyeshadow looks. It just ties the whole look together. So same two matte shadows. Blend it as close to my bottom lash line as possible and then kind of blended way out and smoked out. Very pretty. I don't have relatively big eyes, so this just helps to open my eyes up even more and make them look a bit bigger than they actually are. It's really pretty. That's a great palette. In case I have not convinced you enough, that is a great palette. I'm going to grab lashes because I feel like we're just missing it. And I've been really into lashes on myself lately. It's such a confidence boost and like a little easy pick-me-up. So one of my favorite, let's fix my hair. One of my favorite lashes, and I only have one pair left, is the Ardell 420s. But what I actually do is cut them directly in half because they're not a tapered lash. They're even on each end, which means they're ideal for using as a half lash. I'm going to take one of these bad boys off. And I do this all the time, but in case you've missed it, you take the lash, cut it directly in half, okay? So now you're left with two perfectly sized half lashes, especially if you have smaller eyes like me, then a half lash is just so flattering and just so the way to go. Duo lash adhesive and some very beat up MAC tweezers. I'm going to grab the lash, run the glue all along. I'm going to blow on it because I can. We're going to dry it down so we can apply it right away. Okay, I'm going to lean in. Kind of plop it on top. Don't worry about it. You can let it do its thing for a second. The glue's drying down even more anyway. Just trust me. Take the other side. Grab a closer mirror. Look straight ahead. Plop it on top. Gonna go back to the side. Grab each end. And wiggle it down so it's nice and secure. And there's just nothing like a half lash. Look how instantly, like, I don't know, it just adds that little something, that extra something. Gonna go back to the side. Same technique. I'm gonna wiggle each end until it's fully secure on my lash line. Just like that. I'll make sure I link these half lashes, or these lashes, excuse me, that I use as a half lash in the description. Even though they're not Milani, I still feel like you need them in your life. And let's get this lip combo party started. I have quite a few things that I want to test out, or that I want to show you that I picked up. I picked up two Milani matte lipsticks, and these I've actually never tried this formula before, because I've always been such an avid user and lover of this original, like, actually, no, this is probably the original formula now that I'm thinking about this. This came after, but these are just so, they're a staple in my life. They're just such a great matte, easy to work with lipstick. I love the shades that they have in this formula, but I think I'm going to switch it up because honestly, you've seen me use this formula 1,000 times on my channel if you're not new here. And these I have never used, and I picked up two shades I think are so pretty. I have number 61 Matte Naked. Ooh, yeah. Wow, that looks so pretty. I don't know why I put that swatch right there, but this is Matte Naked. Looks really pretty. And then I got this one too. This one just kind of called my name. This is 69 Matte Beauty. And that's Matte Beauty. Let me show you a swatch of this one. So it's got more orange, more terracotta in it. So that tells me I'm going to use this one because it's going to go overall better with the whole eye makeup look and the blush moment. I also got, stay with me, I got a lip gloss that I've never tried before. It's a Keep It Full Max. Triple X. Okay, Max. They want to really emphasize on, they want to emphasize the Max. This is a balm shell plumping lip balm. I am excited to try this. I'm definitely going to use this as a topper, even though I love a matte lipstick. We're going to definitely use that. Try it out and add like a glossy shine to our lips. Now, I want to just throw this out there. I've been a huge fan of the Milani Fruit Fetish oils too, so honorable mention. I've used these in the past. I'll link these in this video as well, just so you can check them out. If you haven't seen me use this on my channel before, they're just some of my favorites. They're really, really nice. Great alternatives to like the more expensive tinted lip oils out there. I got 3 lip liners. I've never tried this formula lip liner from Milani. At least I don't remember trying it. I couldn't find any in my makeup collection. So I got the Understatement lip liners from Milani. I got 3 shades. They're mechanical twist up pencils. More than likely, I'm going to be using the shade 110 Nude Entrance. So let's just get this party started with this one, because I know this is going to work for sure. Oh, that's creamy. Great, great shade. Yeah, that's really pretty. Yeah. I'll be using this for sure in future videos. This is gorgeous. I wouldn't say it's like the most pigmented. I've kind of gone over, that's berry. I've kind of gone over the same area a couple times to get more impact. But it could just be something to do with the shade. So let me actually cocktail this one, and let's use a bit more of a different shade. Let's try a little bit of Saucy Toffee, which is the medium shade that I picked up. The last shade, and I'll make sure I link it so you can check it out, but I'm not going to use it for this video. It's the shade Rich Cocoa. So we'll put Rich Cocoa down. We'll save you for another time, I promise you. And now let's cocktail a little bit of Saucy Toffee on top. Another great shade, wow. Focusing on the center, both top and bottom. We might go back to that in a bit, but I'm excited to put Matte Naked, such a weird name, on top. Ooh, that's a great texture. Wow. Oh, that smells like a very soft vanilla. It doesn't have that typical drugstore scent to it. This smells amazing. Wow. Very satisfying. Love that shade. Going to go back with the lip liner because I actually did not do a good job over here. And that's gonna drive me crazy. One more time for Saucy Toffee. Gotta give it up to Saucy Toffee. Touch more. And then I am obsessed with this look. I love the way the lashes kind of brought this look together even more. It is time for that final finishing touch. We have nothing else to test out, believe it or not. Nothing you haven't seen on my channel before in the past. So let's finish this makeup up, this full face of Milani with the OG, with the classic, with my jumbo size Make It Last original formula. This is one of my favorites, if not, I mean, no, this is my favorite drugstore setting spray. I have not tested one that's beat this one yet. And I've tested quite a few. So let's do a full-on spray. Oh, God, it's cold. It's so cold. Oh, okay. We're going to just let that marinate for a second. Hold, please. Let's speed it up because it's an uncut. And while this dries down, I want to talk about a few things. Oh, and I still need to top my lips. So hold on. We still got a few things to do. I want to talk about a few things that were just total hits that I hadn't tried yet. This palette, stunning. I definitely will be using this in future videos, and I'll be playing with it with different makeup looks. The Make It Last setting powder, fantastic. I will see how it wears throughout the day. The cream bronzer, absolutely a must try. The primer I really liked. I wouldn't say it's like groundbreaking, but it was a really nice product that looked really pretty. The matte eyeliner, it was a little bit difficult to work with because of the tip of the pen, of the actual applicator. So I wish it was a little bit more skinny and like precise. Basically, I couldn't really get like a precise pointed wing, but still good. Just, it was a little more difficult for me to work with. The brow products, they're nice. I'm not sure they're anything to write home about. So I'll have to give you more thoughts later on as I continue to test those brow products since they were new to me in this video. Let's do what we said we're going to do. Let's add that lip plumping maximizer. Oh, that's pretty. That just took it over the edge. Oof, that's really pretty. I have to do one more thing because it just is going to drive me nuts. I need to add a bit more mattification right here. Otherwise, it's going to look like I am sweating. A bit more right here to lock it all in. And then what else was really good? This was shocking on my skin. I definitely need more time to play with this as well. If you try this and you have thoughts, leave them in the comments below. But first impression is that that was quite amazing. This might be my new favorite lipstick. Honestly, this is so stunning. And the lip liners were superb. What else was great? Everything was pretty much a hit. I love the eyeshadow palette. You already know I love the baked blushes. These, my thoughts are not going to change. These are going to be best suited for more dry skin and not really oily skin girls and guys out there. Just my thoughts. You're going to have to powder this down quite a bit. But I will say I do love the way it looks on my skin at the moment. I just know it's going to get shinier and shinier. But for drier skin people, definitely worth checking out. Really easy to work with and gives really pretty coverage. It's definitely buildable. So this is the full face of Milani. Here's the blush. I want to show you that all that glow one more time. The eye makeup, soft, pretty, very springy, very, I don't know, very feminine, like very like romantic vibes is what I was going for. The lip combo, definitely gonna go in my Hall of Fame of best lip combos that I've ever done on my channel. But this is the full look. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you like this video, if you like this full face of MILANI Cosmetics. Drop a comment. Also tell me what your favorites are from the brand. And don't forget to leave a suggestion on the next full face of one brand that you want to see on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking it out. Sending you a big, big air hug if you watched the whole thing without skipping through. If you did skip through, I understand. I get it. And I'm not insulted. I totally understand. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.